All right, pre-show time. Are you excited for that, Will?
Wow!
Wow. The voice said excitement, but your face said neutral.
It was mid-yawn. I was like trying to yawn as I did that. I wasn't trying to yawn. I was trying not to show that I was yawning.
Yeah. Well, we're here for another pre-show.
First day of spring, March 20th. What's the temp over there?
Oh,
Do some weather chat. Some 2-month-old weather chat.
Oh, it's actually fairly nice today. It was cloudy, but it was like 60 degrees.
It's like almost 80 today here.
Well, definitely haven't had any of that.
And it's supposed to be even warmer this weekend, and then like a sharp drop off again Monday, back down to I wouldn't say freezing. I don't think it's going to get that cold, but cold enough that I'm already over all this. I just want it to be decent all the time.
It'll be freezing here Monday. The low's 26. So
yeah.
That's fun. That's fun for us folk that work overnight and also like kind of outdoors as well.
Well, it's also fun for you if you have to go in at like one temperature and then it becomes another temperature drastically.
Like what happened I think earlier this week. I went in, I clocked in, I think it was Sunday night. I clocked in and it was 72 degrees.
Whoa.
And by the time I left, it was snowing and it was gross. 30.
That's stupid.
I clocked in. Yeah, it was. It was really fucking warm, but I had to like dress for like what it was going to be later that night. And I got there and I was saying to a coworker who got there at the same time as me, like, yeah, it'll be cool that by the time we're leaving, it'll be like fucking snowing. And he was like, it's going to be cold or whatever. It's supposed to be. And then, it was snowing like actually fairly hard.
I saw that picture
that night.
Is it worse, you think? I'm sure you've experienced both. To wake up and it be cold, or sorry, because I'm going to speak in terms that I mean morning and night, but your schedule's different. So I'll just say wake up. Wake up and be cold, and then have to dress for that, and then it get progressively warmer throughout the day, or wake up and it be warm, and it get progressively colder. Which is worse?
It's absolutely worse. Easily to wake up warm and it get colder.
Okay. I don't like having to like wear a jacket and be all stuffy with layers on, and then it's like 60 degrees or almost 70. Because then I'm like, well, fuck, I got to wear this jacket home now. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it would suck if I dressed for 70 and then it became 30. That would absolutely be horrible. But
it was.
As long as you dress, I think, for 30, I'm okay with it getting progressively cooler throughout the day. Because that just seems natural. That just seems normal to me as the sun goes down.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying, not that drastic of a change.
No, that just sucks all around.
So I came in with like short sleeves, and then so I made sure I had like a couple of extra shirts in my car. So whenever I got back from my driving portion, I was able to like put on another layer, and then like a little bit later go put on like another layer, pretty much. So that was kind of annoying. But yeah, coming in and it being 70 plus, and then it snowing by the time I was leaving work,
that's
was
annoying.
Fucking dumb as hell.
I would have complained to HR or something.
Yeah, I mean, I used to say I didn't. And then the same thing happened, or the same thing I think is supposed to happen again this week. Like you said, Monday. So Sunday here, the high is expected to be like 70.
Nice. Comfortable.
And then the low is 34.
Not comfortable. That's horrible. Stop it.
Yeah. So that's going to be
another one of those
really fun again.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. It's really fucking dumb because so it was 72, and then 24 hours later, we got like over an inch of snow.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, like 19 degrees at work.
Yeah.
It was snowing really heavily. It was really bad. And it was, I think the high got up to like 20 degrees. And I was like, I said 2 or 3 times, I was like, 24 hours ago, it was 70 fucking degrees.
Yeah, same here.
Absolutely dumb as fuck.
It went from nearly 80 to, I think one day, like the next day, it was 27 as the high. And we had like, not, I guess just a dusting, like not like a measurable amount of snow, but just enough to cover like the road and some grass. Yeah, it was stupid. It was just like, I mean, stop. I don't like this anymore. I want off the ride.
Yeah.
And then like that day too. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday got even colder, I think. But anyway, yeah. So I was leaving the office and I was trying to lock up, and my key wouldn't like go in the keyhole, and I kept trying, of course, because I thought I had the right key, but it was not going in so like horribly that it felt like it was the wrong key. So I tried another key, and clearly that was also the wrong key. So I then quickly realized after that little bout, so far like 30 seconds has passed, which doesn't seem like a lot of time, but I didn't dress in layers. Not because it was warm that morning. I'm inside all day, so I don't need to like, wear gloves and stuff like that. Plus I've also put like most of that winter shit away. But I had a hoodie on. So 30 seconds goes by and it's like blistering wind and like 27 degrees. And this is forever now. 30 seconds is now forever. So I then realized that like, oh, there's just ice. Like there's ice inside the actual internals of the lock. And I have to lock up the office. So I go inside and try to find a lighter. Because I'm like, I'm going to like, heat up the lock or whatever. I found a barbecue grill lighter that had, I think, 0.5 seconds of fuel in it to make a flame that was maybe like a centimeter tall. So as soon as I tested it to like see if it worked, like that was it. That was all the like fuck. So then I had to go back out into the big garage shop. It's unheated, and like search for a heat gun or another lighter or something that was hot. Basically, I was looking for anything and everything. I found another lighter that you could refill, but for some reason the butane that I found inside either didn't work for it or whatever. So this has been like 10 minutes now. Mostly just me outside in the garage, like trying to find something hot to. And part of me was like, maybe I could just like pour hot water on it and just like temporarily, But I was also afraid to like put more water into the system and then leave over.
And hot water freezes quicker.
Well, sure, yeah. But I wouldn't care after I left. I mean, but mostly I was like, I don't want to fuck over the guy who has to come here in the morning, So finally, I found like a propane torch, and like one of like the big blue bottle, type torches you use for like plumbing or whatever. And that had plenty of fuel in it, but it was so windy. I had to have my bare hand like right over the flame to keep it from blowing out. And this whole thing took like 20 minutes. Most of this time I'm outside just fucking froze. And all I could think about was how just Sunday, Saturday even, but definitely Sunday, I had like the windows at the house open. I drove home with the windows open. It was like sunny. It was perfect. And now I'm out here at fucking like 27 degrees and like 30-mile-an-hour winds, and it's snowing. I'm like, what? This is stupid. I just hate all of this. Just stupid.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I actually started thinking about whenever I'm like really cold at night is I kept thinking about like, I don't have any room to complain because those fucking dudes from that Shackleton expedition
those guys.
Through this, but also with a lot of water and also for 2 years.
a long time.
And so whenever I heard that story, I kept thinking about like, man, I feel like a real fucking like
it's comparable.
Wuss for complaining so much about being cold.
I would say it was comparable. I think what I did with that lock in the course of 15 minutes
was just as bad.
That was my Shackleton expedition. I had to go back and forth from that garage twice. I had to search in the dark because I didn't know where the light switch was at. So I had like my cell phone light was on.
You also had the wind, and they had the wind.
Crazy
as well.
wind. It was exactly the same. I had to climb a small flight of stairs like 4 times.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new video from that channel about your experience trying to lock up after work.
There was a film team follow me the whole time. It was
oh, it's a documentary.
Yeah, it was.
That's good.
It was being documented the whole time. Yeah.
No, that YouTube channel though, they do have they have another one that I started that's about 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And it was about I think it's about Teddy Roosevelt and an expedition he took in South America on the Amazon.
Oh. Huh.
And I've only watched some of it. I've gotten to like pretty much like now the crew is set, they have their plans ready. Now they're setting out. That's where I stopped it, and I was like, okay, I need to.
How old was he at the time?
He had already been president, and he already had run, and he had already had a failed campaign.
The Bull Moose one?
I believe so, yeah. And so it's like shortly after that.
So he's older then. He's an older Teddy.
That's his kind of, his whole point of this is like, it's kind of like this is my last like chance to have like a great journey like this or something like that, because I'm getting up there in age, and he's apparently his life was just like, I need to be going on like dangerous expeditions because this is the only excitement that I get.
Wow.
Essentially is like how they set it up.
Right.
And so he's in South America and he has his crew, and they're just going to be going across the Amazon because it's mostly like uncharted. They don't like nobody really knows. Like,
but he just did this. Like this wasn't like a scientific expedition or anything. He just did it just to do something. It's like a weekend trip. Yeah,
his portion of it is he obviously has crew members with like scientific interests and stuff like that. But for him specifically, it's more just like this is like the only bit of like the only way to like scratch my itch of excitement.
The only thing that gets me hard anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that vibe is what I got from how it was set up.
Wow.
But it seems kind of interesting. And I think pretty quickly from where I started is like people were like immediately like starting to quit.
This sucks.
Like I think so. I got to where it's like they set out and then they were out for like, they were like barely out, and there's already a group of this expedition that's like, we're out. This is fucking awful, and they've already left. And that was actually where I stopped.
Who in the group thought to go during like October and November, thinking that it was going to be cool because it's in North America, it's fall and winter, and then they got down there and it's like, holy shit, this is fucking. Oh, why is winter so hot?
Yeah, I don't know if there has been any of that. At least not that's been noted at this point. But
I know that
he has a lot of people that are like from South America and like Brazil and stuff like that.
And even they tapped out. Like they're like, this sucks.
I don't remember specifically who, but I think yes. I think there was like I don't even remember how many, but there was a group of people that pretty quickly were like essentially like starving, like, and they're getting like eaten by mosquitoes.
We're from here, and this is why we don't come here, because it sucks.
Right.
So I know that like I would.
So die. I also don't have any more information about this because I haven't listened to the rest of it.
Sure. But, yeah. I know that I would die in both scenarios, both the Arctic and the Amazon. I would just die probably from something, who knows what. But I wouldn't make it. But in my mind, I think I would be just a fraction of a percentage less miserable on the Shackleton Arctic expedition than I would be the Amazon. Mostly because of the bugs. Mm-hmm. Like at least in the freezing cold, with as deadly as that is, there's no like mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. And I think that would make it just a little bit more bearable for the 4 days that I survive.
Yeah. I don't know what my pick would be, because I was thinking the same thing at first, but then also just I do not do well in cold at all. My fingers and my toes just like get severe pain if it's below 40 degrees. And so I don't know if I'd be able to do the cold.
That's why I'm saying I would die either way.
I think I would too. But I don't know which one I would prefer. I like to think I would prefer the at least like the warm to hot climate more than the cold, but
I could
the
deal
animals
with the heat,
and
fine.
the bugs would be absolutely
exactly. That would be what would kill me.
nightmarish.
Is the just constant having to swat away everything it would annoy me to the level that I would probably just find some way to like kill myself.
Yeah. Hey, listeners, which would you prefer? Send us an email and let us know.
Snow or bugs? Snow
or bugs. That's the only word in the email you need to send us. Snow, bugs. One of those two words. WWTCApod at protonmail.com. Figured we'd get a plug in here on the pre-show. We don't do that very much.
And, don't try to rationalize it with like, I would bring bug spray, or I would bring like mosquito netting, or I would bring a heat source. No, it's you're in the wilderness, and no matter what technology or devices you have, they only work so well.
Yeah, it's 1920, we'll say.
For both of them? Wasn't the other one like
It was before that, but I'm just saying for this scenario, put yourself in 1920. That's the technology.
No, but I'm asking seriously though. Wasn't it for both of them? Like around that same?
The Roosevelt one was later than the Shackleton one. Yeah, the Shackleton one
later.
I think was like maybe a decade or so before, because that was like World War One. Yeah. World War One I think had just started whenever they set out, pretty much.
I did. It was like early. It was like late teens or whatever. Yeah, mid to late teens. But still,
they got back and the war was still going on.
Yeah, but still, it's all around like the same sort of. There's not a lot, but even then, I don't even think like modern. I mean, yeah, you could do like like the best insulation tech, or whatever. But but it becomes to a point where it's like it just becomes annoying. Like it's not a sense of like survival. I'm not saying that which one are you going to survive the longest. That's not the question for the listeners here. The question is what would you tolerate more?
Yeah. Well, to go against everything you just said,
okay.
I think if you put me in the Amazon with a net over my boat, easily that's my choice. Put a mosquito net over my boat so that the bugs can't get in. And I will take the Amazonian heat over the frigid nightmare, wet and cold.
Yes. I don't think I could disagree with you. The only thing for me would just be the chance for like infection and like like with the heat and the humidity and like none of the water around you being able to be drank. So you're gonna have to carry that little tent to a fire making place somehow, or start a fire in your boat, I guess. That would be where I would start to worry. But I think definitely I could handle just sitting buck ass naked in my boat if it got too hot. As long as that net is impenetrable.
The humidity would be so bad.
Oh, it'd be so bad. It'd be the worst. You'd just be sweating all the time. But I think even then, as long as you could stay hydrated.
Yeah.
While it would suck, I think you would at least get used to the humidity. Like you would acclimate to the humidity. As long as you can stay hydrated. There's no way you're going to acclimate to bugs if you don't have that net. Like that's just going to be annoying. Regardless of like disease.
To the bugs.
Yeah, I can't acclimate to the bugs. Yeah. And then like the snow, again, if you had a way to not be in severe pain and like frostbite conditions all the time, snow on its own isn't, horrible, right? But as soon as you add like the absolute worst temperatures to be in, and then the fact that you have to take so many calories in just to function, they're both just shitty situations. Like just watch it on TV, Teddy. Just watch it on TV, bud. You don't gotta go.
I don't think he had a TV.
Well, he could have waited.
He could have listened to a radio program, I guess.
I mean, I guess if it was mid to late 30s, I'm sure he had TV.
It wasn't mid to late 30s. I think it was in the 20s.
So then they were even closer in timeline? Because I want to say like the Shackleton thing was like
it was World War One. Yeah,
within like 5 years probably. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So they're about the same.
Within 10. Yeah.
Yeah, within the same time frame. So there you go. So I think we're team Amazon. So as long as we have a bug net.
So there was a weird thing also that I remember. Oh wait, was this expedition in 1913, 13 to 14? That's when it was.
So it's really like right on the heels of Shackleton.
Following a disappointing loss in the 1912 presidential election. Yep.
Okay.
And so this also, if I recall correctly from that video that I had started, I think that this expedition was also not really anything that anybody knew about until like 20 years ago. I think there was like...
I think it was like 20 years later. Like 20 years ago.
Like I want to say that in like 2005, it was like information about this had like just been found.
But I'm curious in a future pre-show to hear about how that came to be. Like why did it take so long to be found, and why didn't it get publicized at the time?
That is a good question.
Do you think he was just like really depressed? Like he just lost and he was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go like in the Amazon and not tell anybody.
It's possible.
Whatever happens.
I don't know. I'm trying to see. Let's see here. I want to say I remembered a part early in the video where they said that like there wasn't really nobody knew about this for some reason.
Do you know if it was completed? Like if their goal was?
I don't know anything about it. No.
I didn't imagine.
I'm trying to skim past that on this Wikipedia page to see.
A surprise.
Yeah, no spoilers for this 110-plus-year-old expedition.
Mm-hmm. What if like Teddy Roosevelt was the only survivor, and that's why it took that long to be discovered? Is that he just like took it to his grave that everyone else died,
and he didn't say anything?
Yeah. Like the only survivors were the ones who, ducked out early on. And it's like, my grandpa used to tell me a story of hiking through the Amazon with Teddy Roosevelt, and then he left Teddy's camp because the bugs were so bad. I don't know if it's true or not.
This does say he nearly died during the voyage, and his his health was permanently damaged. So
permanently.
Yeah,
because the bugs,
fun bug stuff. I'm sure.
I'm guarantee it's bugs, malaria.
So it's just like Peter Jackson's King Kong. They're just getting attacked by like gigantic mosquitoes and like horrific nightmare bugs.
I forgot about
centipedes.
That. Yeah, didn't we also like make a movie up about giant mosquitoes in one of the episodes first season?
That sounds right.
Was that wasn't the DB Cooper Bigfoot story, was it?
Oh, I think it was. Yeah,
the giant mosquitoes. Because isn't there also a movie called Mosquito?
Like probably. A B horror film? I'm sure there was at some point. I know there's a tick one. I know there's a slug one. I'm sure there's a mosquito one.
I can't imagine like the slug horror film. Is it just like The Blob?
I've never seen it. It's just called Slugs, though.
Just this like slow-moving, gooey mass that you can easily run away from.
Just pour salt.
Like, yeah, you're right. Just like throw some table salt. It's like, oh, okay, never mind.
That would be the kryptonite.
Let's go back to where we were.
Yeah. So they began in mid-December 1913.
So in the middle of the summer.
It ranks as one of the greatest feats of exploration in modern times, according to this website on Smithsonian Magazine.
Why did they not go during the winter?
Hey, you're asking the wrong bloke.
Because winter in the Amazon still has to be pretty warm. I'm guessing. Like it probably ever gets cold. It's like equatorial, right? So why on earth would you go during what is the hottest time in that part of the world? Unless they were like right on the equator, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm guessing you'll find out all this information and you can report back in 2 weeks.
Maybe. Or I just won't, and we'll never have the answers.
Won't finish it. Leave it a mystery for all
I started it. I really did start it like probably a week ago, and I haven't taken this long to watch either of the other two videos.
How about
I
this?
just haven't taken the time to watch this.
80 years from now, 80 years from now, you can finish it and find out the answer, just like what happened in real life.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, now I'll need to also go back to the beginning to hear about that part, because I don't remember if he mentioned. Because it'd be funny if I'm just completely wrong about remembering that, or it's like this was well documented and everybody knew about
everyone
it.
Knew about it. It was
there were newspapers about it.
Yeah, it's a whole documentary team following.
But I could swear I remember hearing the narrator, mention that like this wasn't known about until like 2005.
Or what if like the narrator just didn't find out about it until
he's like, I just found out about this 20 years ago.
This is amazing. I'm going to share it with you now.
Just now making a video.
20 years later. The technology has came up to my speed when I was 5 years old, and I can now tell you the story that I first heard about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the only real things that I've done this week.
Have you done any imaginary things?
I've done a lot of imaginary things, but the only real things I did was I listened to a few good podcasts, as I am wont to do.
Hold on, wait. I don't know if podcast listening counts as doing real things.
Listening is doing a thing.
I can't argue that. Okay.
And it was real. It was a real podcast.
Fair enough.
I argue against that.
Okay. All right. I'll let it slide. I don't know if that's a reportable thing as far as like...
It's very reportable.
Hey, this week I listened to a podcast I listen to all the time.
Yeah.
Was it a different podcast than you listen to all the time or no?
Well, I have a few that I listen to all the time. So it was one of those.
But it was one of those, yeah, like on the regular slate of Thomas's ear hole.
That's right. That's how we phrase it. I was listening to some Behind the Bastards, and a couple of really interesting episodes they did. There was a two-parter on this Australian psychiatrist who made people sleep to death.
Sleep?
Yeah.
To death?
Yes.
How? How do they keep them asleep?
With really scary drug concoctions.
Oh, like comatose.
So essentially, this dude was, at least initially, it seems, he was like actually experimenting, like actual medical like research, and was like experimenting to see if these were therapeutic. So essentially, if there was like any kind of like a mental illness of some sort, his thought was like, oh, well, I'll just like put you to sleep for an extended period of time, and then whenever you wake up, you'll be all better. And that was basically what he was trying to figure out.
Sleep.
Which it was like a day. You do it for like a day initially. And then it started going into where he would like knock people unconscious without their consent.
I was going to ask earlier.
Like a week or more. Yep. Which is really good for your body.
Well, is there like any intravenous nourishment of any kind? Or is he just starving these people?
A little bit, because there was a one person who had undergone this quote unquote treatment who reported the host Robert Evans had cited this. I can't remember like who this person was or anything, so my apologies, but the person basically said that they showed up and they were given their drugs, and they essentially they went into the hospital, they took their drugs that they were given,
and that was the last thing they remembered.
They said they woke up and the doctor was there, and they had assumed that they had just like taken a sleep, and then they woke up and they asked like they were like, oh, I feel okay, like how long has it been, like how long was I asleep? And they were like 10 days.
Oh god.
And they had lost like a bunch of weight.
Well, yeah,
in 10 days, and like a disturbing amount. And so yeah, they don't do that. They're not doing any like physical things for your limbs or anything like that. So people's bodies are just like fucked after this. And he's also without consent or knowledge electrocuting these people while they're asleep.
Just torturing
not
a cadaver,
all of them,
basically.
but at least some of them. Yes.
Oh gosh.
It's fucked. And with the medication, some people would like essentially with whatever this cocktail was that he was giving these people, some people would also wake up addicted, and they would suffer like horrific withdrawals and stuff like that after they had woken up. Or while they're asleep, they would start having horrific withdrawals.
Right.
And it was a really fucked up story, basically.
Did the treatment work, though?
No. Believe it or not, these people would wake up either just similar to how they were beforehand or worse.
Yeah.
They're
well rested.
They would have PTSD and
that's horrible.
And other psychological, like they would have like memory loss and stuff like that.
Right. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
There was another story. Robert Evans said there was only a couple of different stories about this he could find. So it doesn't seem like this is something that this doctor did to a lot of people.
Well, that's good.
Because there's only like a couple of reports, but there were a couple of reports of people that he had apparently implanted like metal plates into their heads.
Oh.
Because there was a story of this woman that did this treatment, and she came out of it and was like relatively fine, and like, went back to her life, and everything was like going normal. And then like a decade or more later, I think maybe like 15 years later, something like that, this woman had apparently developed, there was like a lump on her head that had grown. And then it became, according to what he was reading, it became like egg-sized, and it eventually split open and a metal plate fell out of it.
Oh, it was like rejected.
Yes, and this person, like the only conclusion was like, this fucking must have happened during that procedure.
What if she had it since birth and she just didn't know?
Like just never knew? Yeah, that'd be disturbing too. But this also happened to another person. Another person had like a screw from a metal plate that was put in like break inside of their head.
What year was this? Or around the time?
This absolutely horrifically. You hear this and you're like, this is like 1910 or something like that. This was like the 70s.
Okay. No, actually
60s and 70s.
I wasn't thinking of any decade. I was just hopeful that it was more modern.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I was like, hopefully, there were ways to like detect this stuff, not just like 1800s and this dude's like, and these people have no idea. Which I mean, clearly they also still had no idea. But I was being hopeful that maybe like someone could go to an actual doctor who wasn't going to like use leeches to help get the metal plate out or something like that.
Well, yeah. Well, so he did that while these people were asleep without their knowledge or consent, like I said. And then there was like a child who got taken in and died, and like we don't know what they had done to that kid because the records for that were. Of course, they were like
records?
lost in a fire. Yeah, he kept like notes and recorded like everything that he was doing. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, but if these were lost in a fire,
whatever happened to this child, he got rid of them essentially.
But how is it even known that this happened at all to this child?
Because the family.
Oh, okay.
The family lost their kid.
They just gave up their kid to a guy. It was like, I'll have him back in 10 days. He'll be rested. He'll be all better. 10 days.
Oh, I don't know if they thought 10 days, but also this wasn't just a guy. This was like a respected doctor with people. He had like acclaimed. He was like acclaimed, and that people. Yeah, he wasn't just like a random doctor necessarily. It was
seems like a random doctor who just lied to people previously.
It was an allegedly reputable doctor.
So he built up
based on what people who went to him were under the guise of like this is a reputable person.
Right.
It wasn't just like I'm going to sign up for this experimental thing that I don't know about.
Craigslist or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. Yeah. So it was. There was like a guise of like
trust.
Yeah, essentially.
So, was there ever?
And like I said, it at least started out of like actual medical curiosity and like an actual intention of like
sure,
seeing if this thing works initially again.
But it even sounds like even then it was still flawed by the fact that you didn't get consent, or that there were no like ethics trials or anything like that before, you know, before going through. Like, it's one thing to just be curious. Like, I wonder what would happen if I cut my arm off and stitched it to my head. Like, medically speaking, I'm curious about that, but I'm not going to do it. So I am curious about this guy, and if he went from being, like you said, reputable and had like a trust established with, you know, at least with the field that he was in, that these people were willing to be like, okay, maybe he's, you know, onto something. I wonder, like, if something happened to him to where, like, you know, like mental break or some kind of disease where like he just lost his mind, and he went from being like what we would call a normal doctor to being this sort of like just really malicious, but in his eyes still being like, I'm doing this for the greater good or whatever.
Well, I can answer that actually.
Please
the
do.
Answer is definitely yes.
Clearly.
Because they talked about like later in his life he apparently was like talking about how he's an alien.
And, okay, so he goes way off.
And also at some point, if I recall correctly, I think his wife dies and he like goes fucking nuts, and then he starts doing this treatment to himself.
Did it work?
Nope.
He's still asleep to this day. He's been asleep for 30 years.
Exactly, yes. But also, by the way, this guy, I can't recall what his first name was, but he's Dr. Bailey.
Okay.
I think if you search Dr. Bailey, Australian sleep doctor, you'll probably find out about it.
Did he get caught, or was it just discovered after he died or something like that?
I think it was more like after he died, I think.
Right. That's what it sounds like. So how long did he do these experiments with sleep before he realized that they weren't working?
I don't know if he ever realized they weren't working because he did it to himself whenever he was older.
Well, that's crazy. But he was an alien.
But the other Behind the Bastards two-parter I listened to this week was about incels. That was pretty
so you're listening to like really upbeat, fun, lighthearted entertainment. I see.
Well, that one was really interesting because I didn't know like the origins of incel. Like I knew about like that Elliot Rodger like shooting and killing a bunch of people like
sure.
a decade ago or whatever was like what that's, or at least as far as I knew, that was like where incel like knowledge started.
Right. Wasn't it tied with like Gamergate too and all that kind of stuff?
This goes back to like the 90s is whenever
I didn't know it was that
started.
Old. Okay.
There was a woman, a girl who had created a website. She was involuntarily celibate, and
sure.
like it was like 1997 if I recall correctly.
The Matrix.
And I forget what the name of it was, but she had created like essentially a website / blog situation where she was like, essentially it was like, I struggle with this thing and like I can't like connect with people and stuff like that, and the internet is this new thing, like maybe there's other people, and so she created this space, and
I see.
There were other people, but it was more innocent and definitely more like people like supporting each other and people like
it wasn't like a weird political movement at the time, I don't imagine.
Going through similar struggles and whatnot, and eventually she had like met somebody and stuff like that, and so she had like left that website behind, but that website remained there for a long time. And then there was this whole thing about like, so like pickup artists became kind of a more prominent thing. And then there was a website that was created in like the early to mid aughts called like pickupartisthate.com.
Pickup artist hate?
Yeah. And so this became like a new incel website, and essentially that also started out as like kind of more innocuous, and over time it started getting kind of like progressively more extreme a little bit. And then with Reddit there was an incel sub, and that started to become pretty disturbing. And then I guess he talked about there was like a rate me sub where like people post pictures of themselves and are like wanting feedback on their appearances, I guess.
Yes.
And so incels started flooding that. And doing all this shit. And then so like the incel sub got banned, and then there was like a new sub for incels called brain cells that was started. And so essentially, but what was really interesting, I thought, was that there is like so much incel originated vernacular that is commonly just used.
Oh, really?
But it originated from incel culture. Yes.
Do you have examples?
Yeah, so like a couple that I think are maybe more kind of obvious are like Chads, like calling a dude a Chad, or like a Stacy is the girl version of a Chad.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Those are like just common that originated from incel stuff. There was also,
I knew the Chad did.
There was what else was there? There were all these weird ones that I have never heard of. But so there was like, there's a thing they talked about where if somebody online on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever, if there is a Asian woman who is partners with a white man, there will be comments that say Oxford study.
Oh, okay.
I've never come across this, but
either.
this is apparently a thing. Like even one of the other people on the podcast was like, I've seen that and I didn't know what that was.
Huh.
It's a thing. Essentially, it's an incel thing where it is about like how, because the incels are also wrapped up in this weird like Nazi race science shit.
Yes.
And so there was this whole thing, I guess, where there is a completely just fake made up Oxford study that showed how like Asian women are like more beginning to date white males as opposed to Asian males.
Okay.
And how it's like impacting something. I don't know. It's a weird, but so apparently anytime there's like a thing on like TikTok of like an Asian woman with a white man, there will be a whole bunch of comments that say Oxford study.
Huh. I've never seen
what
this.
That's in relation to.
I've also not necessarily paid attention to like Asian, like the race makeup of people online either. So.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. So,
but I thought that was really weird. What else? There's like fucking, there was like bone smashing, I think was a thing.
I've heard of this.
They talked about, and this is where incels, I guess, or at least a portion of the incel community anyway, believe that you can like smash your face up.
Yes, so this is new.
Become more attractive, because your bone structure will grow back like stronger than it was before, and so you have like a more pronounced jaw is the thinking behind it.
I have heard of
people
this
will
recently.
take like mallets and like hammer their like jaws with them.
Yes.
And there's like what else? There was I'm blanking on some of the words because I had never heard of any of some of these words that they were using, that they were defining. Because he read this post at one point, like early on in the podcast, he reads this post and it's just fucking gibberish. But by the time you get to the end of the episode, he has like explained what these words mean, and he reads that post again, and you're able to like understand what
decipher
the fuck was being said in this post. And he's like, yeah, so this terminology has like caught on across the internet because it's just like really silly sounding, and it's just like it's kind of fun to talk like this because it just sounds really silly, and it's just interesting.
Not, but sure. Yeah.
And so essentially across the internet, a lot of this terminology is just like regularly used, or there's like memes that originated from like incel culture that are just regularly used everywhere. But people like maybe don't even know where it originated from. Not that it really necessarily even matters, but it's just like weird to hear how all of this stuff originated from this like weird subsect, and how this weird subsect has like such a gigantic impact actually on like linguistics, like how people now even outside of the internet will like speak and use these words that originated from like incel subcultures on the internet. It's really weird. It was really interesting.
It is an interesting
episode. So it didn't linger. It did, of course, like come up, but it didn't linger as much on like the like mass killing aspects of it. That comes up, yes, but it was kind of mainly more about like incel impacts on like greater culture, and like how we communicate and use.
Did they mention anything about like the political movement now that is like sort of centered around these types of individuals?
Yeah, that was kind of constantly in the part of it. Yes.
Yeah, and how it's like there are these group of individuals, mostly males, or those who identify as male, I guess, who think because they are an incel or fit into that sort of characterization, I guess, of their life, or how they perceive themselves, or even how they perceive others perceive them as an incel. That they, and also because of these shared communities, like these echo chambers of, just like hatred towards their desired sex, and whatever other things come with that, and a lot of them being also anti-feminist, and a lot of them feeling in some way disenfranchised because their situation or condition or whatever is not taken seriously, or it's joked about or whatever. That like all these individuals are like coming together as like this fairly vocal group online, especially on like Twitter now that 4chan's been taken off, I guess, or mostly taken off of the internet. And then also Reddit was a big part of that, of course, as you said. But even like I said, those places are just the same echo chamber on a different website. Basically, it's all kind of the same people, or the same groups. And but this is becoming like an actual, like, sort of measurable political. I don't want to say party. That almost puts too much organization on the on it. But demographic maybe is a more apt term. Yeah, and it's really gross to see because a lot of younger males are quickly falling into this fucking black hole where, because
that's another black pilled. That's another
yes.
Terminology.
There's red pilled, black pilled, blue pilled. There's all that but because they are like 12, but also they have access to the internet and to seeing and experiencing the lives of others who either are exaggerating their lives, or exaggerating their abilities, or exaggerating their experiences, or whatever it is, right? These young kids are quickly saying like, oh, I'm not getting laid all the time, or I can't talk to girls, or no one wants to talk to me at my school, or they point and laugh at me, or whatever, or I just feel awkward, or whatever it is, right? And then they quickly go, oh, well, I must be this incel group. Oh, look, there's millions of me online. And like, so very quickly it seems like this group is growing from the bottom, as far as they're not necessarily pulling in like people who have like lived a life, they're in like their 20s and 30s now. They're pulling in from like, the onset of like, hey, welcome to the internet. You're over here now. And it's really scary to see some of this, and because of this like group think or group mentality, or even just like the validation, which I think we've talked about on air before, about the power of validation. Because of this like instant validation online, they all just start to parrot each other, and there's like no unique thought in this group as far as that goes. And yeah, it's really scary to see. Like I've witnessed this thing online for my over a decade on Reddit, and then just being older and being online for years, just seeing these, sort of this group that everyone, I was like, okay, you're an incel. It was like, it was a throwaway. I don't even know if insult is even the right, because it didn't have that much meaning or weight whenever I first was introduced to it, which definitely wasn't like in the 90s. I didn't realize it went back that far. To now, less than a decade later, since I kind of first learned about that, and it became sort of in everyone's vocabulary. You know, we went through that whole section of several years of like many mass shootings because of people identifying this way or thinking that they were a victim of some kind. Yeah, and then now it's like they have like whole like political movement online, and it's just like, oh fuck, we're just so fucked. We're just like so it's scary.
Yeah, the internet's great.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people are great. I mean that sarcastically.
Ever since I read that book, The Chaos Machine.
Oh yeah,
about social media and how it all works and how it specifically, essentially algorithmically works to radicalize people who are on it. It made me really have a disdain for the internet, I think.
I bet. Yeah.
Especially social media in general. But yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
I still
how the world works.
I still try to keep those two things separate. I try to keep social media separate from the internet.
Yes.
But it is really easy just to say like, you know, it's the internet. It's the internet's fault or whatever. Or you know, the internet's bad. To me, it's social media is bad. The internet is just a fucking tool that conveys social media. That definitely is, you know, an essential part in all that horribleness. But I think really it's the idea that, you know, clicks are a way to categorize groups of people and then sell them whatever. And the more you can fit everyone into a clique or force them to be in a clique or naturally make them want to be in a clique, the easier it is to push something towards them, you know, whether it be a product or a service or a platform or, you know, whatever. Yeah. And it's really taken like what was already naturally sort of like the icky parts of humanity, you know, and exploded them like a pressure cooker as far as, you know, making everything develop even faster and more intensely. And but yeah, like I said, it's been really weird to see like this weird like sort of, like I said, I don't even want to call it like an insult because it was like calling someone a nerd, you know. At least that was my introduction to that to the term incel was along those lines. I'm not saying like nerd equals incel. I'm not saying that, but it was like on that same level of like calling someone a nerd, in the sense that like, you know, definitely it was done derogatorily, I guess, right? It wasn't done with like, you know, hey, you're a nerd, that's awesome. You're an incel, that's so cool. It wasn't done that way, but it was definitely, it had like that much weight to it. It seemed like, and then for it now to become this thing where like there are guys, young adults online who have hundreds of thousands. I think one of them even has like over 1 million followers, and it's all about, you know, this black pill this and the Giga Chads and it's just like, oh god, just go get a fucking hobby, dudes. Like,
like workout maxing or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, all the maxing
like
stuff that's like popping up now. Yeah,
it's all incel.
And now there's like this thing too where like there are these guys who are full-on adults, by the way, who are, I think it's called looks maxing.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm like an 80-year-old trying to talk to somebody.
That's the one I was trying to just think of right now. Yeah.
Where there are these older guys, like our age adults, who try to dress and style themselves to look younger in an attempt to appear more masculine, simply because their body has developed more than the age group they're trying to look like. And
it's also like working out is a part of maxing,
because the whole goal is to become a Chad.
Yes.
And that's where that, you know,
it's funny because the guest on these episodes is a woman, and the producer of the podcast, she also chimes in pretty often. So it's Robert Evans, and there's two other women on the podcast, but it was funny because they kept talking about this stuff as he was reading his script, and like the woman would butt in and be like, they were kind of just like, have you ever tried just talking to a woman? Like, if you would probably, because they were talking about Elliot Rodger, they got to that point, and it was just kind of like, he read a couple of like things from his like manifesto or whatever it was. And, but Robert Evans was also like, I mean, but it's also like, people are kind of surprised whenever they see him sometimes, because he's also, it's not like he wasn't like a bad looking guy or anything like that. It was, but they were like, but it's hard to meet women whenever you're just like seething with rage in the corner staring at them.
Exactly. Yes.
Instead of like, because their whole thing is that they expect women to just like come up to them and just like to just want them, just like to look at you and want you. Well, it's like their whole thing. They don't want to have to put in any effort or like communicate or.
But the thing is also that it goes back to the whole validation and like almost like a body image issue.
Shout out to all our incel listeners.
Yeah, just fucking get a hobby, guys. Just get a fucking hobby. Just get a hobby.
Go talk to somebody.
And listen, well, no, but that's the thing. I'm not. I'll get back to the point that I started, but I'm not saying get a hobby as like a distraction. What I'm saying is that if you love doing something and you put in time and effort into that thing as a passion, as an actual passion, not as I need to do this to distract myself from my penis, but as an actual, like, I love doing this thing and I want to do it, then people see that. Both sexes or whatever see that, and you will attract people to you, both platonically and romantically. You will attract people to you because you're doing something that you're passionate about. Fucking get a fucking hobby. It really is that. Like, if you're not good, like if you have nerves, or you're not good about, confronting people, or, someone who you find attractive, you might be not great with words or nerves or whatever it is, fine. But when you're passionate about something and you can just talk about the thing that you're passionate about, all of that fucking like, am I going to say the right thing, goes away because you have the passion to talk about something, and the other person's like, oh, this person is interesting to listen to. I want to listen to them more. Let's go have drinks, or let's go have lunch, or let's just go do a thing together and we'll spend time together. But instead anyway, going back to the point that I was starting to make, was that it's this whole like body image thing where these kids and young guys, I guess,
fellas,
the fellas,
or supreme gentlemen, I think is what they go by.
Oh God,
yeah. Or is that just that one guy? I don't know.
I don't fucking know. Fuck it all. Okay, but anyway,
sorry,
it's not just that they think women should come to them and that they don't want to do any effort. That is definitely a big chunk of it. But I also think there's this part that is, they perceive the fact that isn't happening as a sense that like, oh, I must be an ugly freak. So I've got to go and idolize some douchebag who is surrounded by women, seemingly, which he doesn't say that they're all bought and paid for, but is surrounded by women. So it must be because of the way he looks and acts, which he looks like a fucking, air quotes, Chad, and he acts like a douchebag. So I've got to do that because that's the key, apparently. And that's my focus, is that. And you're right, like a lot of these guys are well above average in what society would normally consider looks to be.
Yeah, it's just at least average. Yeah.
Well, exactly. And also, asterisks, that also doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, exactly. They talk about that as well.
But a lot of them could easily pass, with just their looks alone. But it's because of what you said, like the whole seething with hatred the whole time, like that just makes you an ugly individual. Not visually ugly, just an ugly person.
It's funny, there was like, at one point, one of the guest was like, you know what's fucking hot? just like hygiene if you like just smelling good. And she's like, you know what else is hot? If you just like take out the trash and like I don't have to mention it.
Being responsible. Yeah,
she's like, it's fucking hot.
But even then,
and also just like she's like, you know what else is hot? Just like having a skill of some kind. Like if you can do something well.
Right, but even then, I think there's I get that maybe she's just trying to make light of the situation, and I don't know the context of what she's saying, but in my opinion, she's still wrong because she's still attaching, and if you do this thing, others will want you to be with them, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think she said that, but yeah,
no, she didn't say that, but that's what she's saying though. Out of the context that I just heard it from you, that's what she's saying. She's saying if you just clean yourself, I'll like you. Or if you just do some chores, I'll like you. Well, then the problem with that is that as soon as that 1 + 1 equation doesn't equal 2, these guys are like, oh, women fucking suck, and they just want the one fucking douchebag, and I hate women, and gross. I did all the gentlemanly things, and I wear cologne. I have a whole collection of. I spend all my paycheck on colognes, and I do everything, and no one notices me, and I fucking women suck. And it's like, again, you're only doing it as a means to whatever goal you think it is. You're not passionate about smelling nice. You're not passionate about taking out the trash. You have no interest in that stuff other than this is what I was told will get me, sex. Or someone to just touch me, hold me. Someone just to validate me as a human. And that's what all these fucking dicks think, is they just think that if I do this, it will equal this. And then whenever it doesn't, it's them. They're the ones that fucking suck, and they all need to die. And it's like, guy, like I said, just get a hobby. Just find something you love, and do it because you love it, not because it might equal something else. That's their biggest flaw. But like I said, you get like 11 and 12-year-olds online now, and they don't know how to fucking barely do anything with life, let alone, like all the things that they're seeing on their screen, right? And they're being told that like, oh, if you do this, you'll get this, or I look like this, and look at all the girls that are around me, or whatever. I've got money and fame, and I can fucking fly all over the world and sleep with whoever I want, and it's because I said and did this. And they're immediately like, sign me up. I don't fucking want to do anything else. I just want that. And it's so sad. It's so sad to see so much focus being put into like unachievable goals. Unachievable. Just like I said, just find something you like to do it. Like that's why so many nerds have girlfriends. It's not because looks most of the time. Not that looks matter, and that's also proof that they don't matter. But it's because nerds have always just been passionate about. So that's what makes them a nerd. Whatever thing that they're nerdy about, whether it's film or music or comic books or, manga or science or whatever the fuck it is, they're passionate about it. And whenever they can't go up to someone and say, hi, I like the way you look, or do you want to go on a date, they can definitely go up to someone and talk to them for 45 minutes about whatever fucking issue of Marvel comic came out. And the other person is just fascinated by this individual because they can hold a conversation about something that they're clearly passionate about. And that other person is like, you know what? I want to be around this more. Let's at least be friends and then see where it goes. But that's the key. And then, clearly people who aren't nerds, air quote, I guess the other side of that is jocks or whatever, right? Is, they're still nerdy about something. They're still passionate about something. Now, a lot of them also have a physique that younger individuals find physically attractive. But that physique doesn't hold water if there's not passion behind something, And that's what I just hate it. I hate that they've all become just so fucking focused on like, if I do this, it equals that. And whenever it doesn't, it's because they hate me. It's just like, bros, just fucking log off. Whatever incels are still listening. You're not an incel. You're fucking boring. That's what it is. You're just fucking boring. Go out and be whatever you want to be. Find something fun to do, man. Just become passionate about that, and stop being so fucking boring.
Yeah, and that was Will's life advice segment.
Just stop being recurring. Just stop being boring. Like every girlfriend I've had, I don't have looks. I'm a giant man who's always been overweight, and every person that I've dated, it's because we bonded over something that one or both of us was passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was it. You know, definitely hygiene, I guess, helped in some sense, but I could have easily, if I was the type of person where hygiene didn't matter, I could have also easily have probably found someone where hygiene didn't matter to them either. Right? But the problem is that a lot of these guys want the fucking thing that they see on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, you know, that the paid for beauty, which I'm not trying to like diss on sex work. It's a legit profession. You know, those are real humans, and all respect to them. But the reason that a lot of these douchebag assholes are surrounded by women is because people are getting paid for a transaction. Like that's just the economy of it, and all the power to them. I'm not saying that that's not how it should work, but the viewer, the kid who sees that, thinks that it's just because this dude fucking like bench presses whatever and drinks protein shakes and only eats raw meat and, you know, and whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, dude, yeah, I hate all this culture. But the fact that you blew my mind though, saying that it was from the late 90s, that's crazy.
Yeah. And started by a woman.
That part isn't as crazy because a lot of things online are started by women.
Yeah, and she created the term incel, INV cell is what she was calling it, and then like an unknown like user from her website was like, just call it incel because it's like
cleaner.
Smoother.
Yeah,
and so like
marketable.
That term was actually made in like way back then, like that's almost crazy. 30 years ago.
And just to clarify again, what you said, I just want to make sure I got it right. You said that she basically was using it more innocently as just a way to describe the situation.
Yeah, like also most things on the internet started.
Well,
it was
sure.
just kind of like a oh, I have this issue, and she was from like a small town, like somewhere like a small little town or whatever, and there wasn't anybody else that was like her or whatever, and that was
dating
what her problem kind of was. And so she basically started that as just like I'm sure there's other people that are like me somewhere, and now the internet is kind of a thing that some people are starting to get, and maybe there's other people that have the same kind of problem that I have. Is what it started out as.
Yeah, but she was just using the term as like a truncated version of two other words. Correct. Beyond that, it had no other connotation or okay.
Yeah, she created the term involuntarily celibate, and then that's where it came from. So yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy.
It was that's interesting. Yeah, definitely not as dark as I thought it was going to be, as far as the subject matter. Whenever you first brought it up,
yeah, at first.
Oh, no, yeah, it definitely it easily gets there. Yeah, wow. Well, that's okay. So I take back my statement from earlier saying that your podcast listening, it wasn't a mentionable task that you did this week. It definitely was.
I learn interesting stuff. I like history, and I like hearing all kinds of this kind of stuff. I don't just listen to Knowledge Fight and hear awful people say awful stuff.
What's worse, listeners? Bugs, snow, incel. Those are the three options. Yeah,
those are the three options. I like to imagine that somebody has already emailed us bugs, and then they email us the second time.
Wait.
Change an hour later.
Yeah, I redact my previous statement.
Yeah. Well, I also have listened to some Knowledge Fight, so there was that.
Well, of course, I expected that. Whenever you first said that you listened to podcasts, that's what I thought you meant, was that you just listened to Knowledge Fight. I was like, well, clearly, that's what you do. So, I haven't done anything this week.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Well, No, actually, I really haven't. I haven't gone anywhere. I celebrated my dad's birthday. We went out to eat. I guess there's that. That was nice.
Eating's good.
Yeah. So was having a dad to celebrate the birthday. Sorry for those of you out there who don't have that anymore. But so that was nice. I've been designing a haunt for the past couple of weeks, but I don't want to drag on about that. I am gearing up next week. We can't record, so it'll be 2 weeks from now when we record, because next week I'm going to the big industry trade show.
The big show.
Yeah, the big industry trade show. 4 days of Halloween.
That sounds terrible.
I'm taking 8 seminars over the course of 3 days. So my trip is going to be a lot of classrooms. That's 8 hours worth of classes.
Yeah, well, at least it's something that you actually care about and are
I'm passionate about.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. Yeah.
Well,
so that makes it not as bad. If
the nice part
is if it was like a
I'm
seminar that you're like dragged to, that would be fucking awful.
Well, I mean, I didn't pick these necessarily. These were picked. Some of these were picked for me because I'm not paying for this. The company I'm with is paying for it. But I mean, it's still within the umbrella subject of something that it's not like I'm going to like a, seminar on taxes or whatever. Right? It's still all, and the umbrella subject is something that I'm passionate about. Yeah, correct. So even like the worst of these seminars, I'll still, at least be sort of engaged, I guess. But most of them, there's like 6 that I'm really excited for. There's a couple that I'm like, I'll go. Mostly just to like put my phone on record and just record it for someone else on the team. That's kind of what I'm going for a couple of them, because of scheduling a lot of the seminars at the same time as other ones. But yeah, 8 hours worth of classes, and then a lot of haunted house props. And there's also this show's really big. It's not just for haunted houses anymore. It's for like all kinds of, how do I say this? All kinds of like seasonal
haunted garages, haunted sheds.
No, that's just the horror, like the Halloween stuff. But like, there's also a Christmas zone, and then an escape room zone. So it's stuff that's like, I was gonna say live entertainment, but it's also not that. It's like the interactive seasonal stuff is what this show encompasses, with Halloween being the largest chunk of this. Like the convention floor, like the trade floor, it's not open to the public. This is only open to people in the industry. But the convention floor is like 500,000 square feet? It's like 500,000 square feet. It's a fucking massive. I've been there once before, a couple years ago. But now it's exploded beyond, like I said, the Halloween section. There's a big chunk of it. Not the whole thing, but the big chunk of it is dedicated to the interactive games, which is escape rooms, and then an equal sized chunk is dedicated to just Christmas. So like any kind of like Christmas themed event or whatever, this is the place that you would go. Like if you had like a Christmas themed zoo or whatever, this is the place. This is the same show that you would go to buy all your stuff for that. Plus there are classes that are also dedicated just for the Christmas stuff or just for the escape room interactive stuff. But anyway, so yeah, it's a big 4-day extravaganza. It happens once a year. And yeah, I haven't been in a couple of years, but I'm excited. Like I said, it's all paid for, so that's the bonus.
Yeah.
I mean, just my classes alone, each class is $60. So just me alone is a good chunk of change. to go to this, almost $500 in classes just on me. Not considering you have to have a ticket to get into the event in the first place. I think that was over $100. So yeah, I appreciate them doing that for me. So I'm excited. So that's where I'll be next Friday. I'll be in the middle of it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
But that's all I've been doing. I've been, like, I think I mentioned this a couple pre-shows ago. Like, my season is going to get started hard and heavy, and I'm in the middle of it heavily already. So I've not done anything else.
Well, quick gas price check. What are you looking at?
Oh,
I don't remember what our predictions were, but we predicted something for April. And
I know
March 20th, and my local gas station I just checked is at $3.76, which I think is like $1.50 more than it was whenever we asked the initial question.
I can't remember what I said either, but I do know that what I said was surpassed a while ago. I want to say it was like 330 something is what I predicted or something.
Yeah, I think
right?
Mine was as well.
Yeah.
Mine was closer, a little bit less than what you said.
Yes, I went higher, but we're definitely falling far beyond.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just to be comparative to what I said, I'm using the same gas station that I initially said, right? Okay. So it's $3.79 now.
Almost identical. Yeah. 3 cents more there.
What about diesel? Because that's what really matters.
I
didn't say this last time, but
yeah, you didn't mention the diesel. That's what really matters.
Yeah. I want to say that whenever we first did this, I want to say that diesel around here was like $3.99.
Holy smokes. Okay. So, the diesel. So regular gas $3.76. I said.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel is $5 even.
$5.29 here.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So you're only 3 cents more on regular, and you're 29 cents more on the diesel.
That's why I said that's where it matters, because the economy runs on diesel. So,
yeah, there's that one. But I don't actually use this gas station that I'm citing prices from. So let me see what's. I assume it's probably comparable, the one that I actually stop at, but I'm going to see what their prices are.
Which would be like 80 cents higher.
It's like way more.
You're just getting gouged the whole time.
Like, oh, fuck. Shouldn't have been going to that one.
Yeah.
Damn it. Hang on.
Okay. Well.
Live podcasting. Kind of.
Yeah, very live.
Okay, so the gas station that I actually use. Okay. They don't conveniently have their prices.
Doesn't it suck?
Here, so.
I hate that.
But there is another gas station directly across the street, and they typically have similar price. Oh no, I found it. Okay, so the gas station I stop at is currently $3.78 regular. Their diesel is $4.75.
$4.75. Wow.
According to what's listed on Google Maps.
Anyway. Like we're getting so we have like fuel cards, like fleet cards with our company, right, for diesel for the trucks.
Yeah.
And some of our biggest discounts it's only certain fueling stops. So the one I just gave is not one. But I think our biggest discount only gets us down to like $4.50 something with the discount. And that's like the biggest difference between regular and discount. So the fact that you're already paying like 74 cents, 75 cents off of regular, man, soak it up over there. Just put some diesel in your car. It's cheaper.
Yeah. I don't see any issues with that.
Nah. Yeah.
Except it's also like $1 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I can't afford not to run on diesel.
There's a bigger price comparison between my diesel and your diesel. So,
which means I need to switch.
You need to switch over to
diesel as opposed to the cheaper gas.
Yes.
Okay.
Because economically speaking, you'll be saving more.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's what matters most. Saving more by spending more. That's like whenever
capitalism, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Like whenever things are on sale and they're like, well, I'm actually saving $60. No, you're spending $112.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought this stuff at all regular price.
Yeah.
But now that I can save 5 cents on the dollar, I'm going to buy 20 of them. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good system.
Or what's also common now is for places to say they're having sales, and what they do is they just raise the price before the sale. So the sale price is actually more than the regular price. Yeah.
Or something I've noticed on Amazon with items that I've had in my cart is it will say that it's a limited time sale or something on the item.
Yeah.
But it's the exact same price that it has always been.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it'll say that it's on sale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I did actually just buy recently, a couple weeks ago. I didn't mention this. I bought a new bit of software for the old computer that allows me to do 3D rendering of house designs. And the one I had been using, which was like a one-time fee, it was actually like a video game, you could video game is weird because there wasn't any like,
it was Minecraft.
Yeah. Roblox. There wasn't any like gamified part, like there wasn't any like objective or like, goals or achievements to it, but you could only air quotes play it through Steam to have a Steam account. Mm-hmm. So I'll call it a video game, but basically you could design your own structures in 3D and get blueprints and actual dimensions. So I think I paid like $30 for that years ago, and
he's muted, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back momentarily.
I thought I had to sneeze so bad. It's like right there. So I think I paid like $30 for that like 6 or 7 years ago, but they've stopped updating it, and it's kind of getting clunky to work with, especially with like if you put too many assets or too many whatever, it starts to really get broken pretty rapidly. So I've been like on the hunt for a new software, and I found one that is a one-time. You pay once and you never have to pay again. I was like, that's ideal. It was quite pricey comparatively speaking, but the features were pretty awesome in it. And yeah, they got me with that same thing about like they had on their website, limited time, discount. It was like 30 or 40% off or whatever. But you had to get it before like the end of the month, and it was like a week before the end of the month whenever I was happened to be on the website, of course, right? And I was like, I don't know if I want to buy this right now or if I should just wait. And then I was like, I'll go ahead and buy it, just before that price goes back up. So I spent like $100, I think. And I had already done like a lot of searching as far as like, is this a good program? Like reviews or whatever. But then literally like immediately after I bought it, I went and looked up like how to something on this program. And one of the comments on this was like, yeah, this is a good program, but it's perpetually on sale all the time. So I don't know if I should trust it or not. I was like, fuck, that got me. So yeah. Oh, well. But I mean, it seems like it's worth the $100.
So far, so good. Eh?
Yeah, because it's got lifetime updates as far as, the company actually keeping it alive, and not like the last one I paid $30 for, and I think I got like the final version of it, and they never touched it again. So,
yeah.
But yeah, sales.
Yeah, I took that Nebula yearly discount, right? Mm-hmm. Did you know that they also have a lifetime option?
$300 or whatever for one time.
Yeah, I briefly considered it, and then I thought, but that would be 10 years of me paying yearly.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I'm like, I'll just do the $30 a year, I think.
Yep.
And I didn't read the fine print, so I don't know if it is locking me in.
I don't know either.
Or not.
I don't know either.
So I'm hoping it is, but if not, then oh well, that's fine. I don't.
Yeah,
it's not really that big.
You
of
can
a
always
deal.
go back down to like the monthly or whatever.
Yeah, which $6 a month also I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not like you're breaking the bank or anything. But I'm pretty sure that I'm locked in at my price only because whenever I switched plans, because I was doing the monthly at like it was like $5.99, or it was $1 cheaper than what it is now, I think, per month. But they were going to raise the price, but that was at the same time they introduced both if you do this now per year, you get locked into this price, or this new thing of one fee lifetime. And I also did consider, I was like, if I had $300 to just never have to pay for this again, but then part of me was like, are they going to be around for that long? Am I going to have internet for that?
Sort of what I started thinking too.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll just lock into a yearly fee and then cancel if I have to.
Yeah, and I will say I did not support those people that you sent me the link through. The engineering, whatever it was.
Oh, practical engineering.
Yeah, I did not use that link.
Okay. No, I didn't think it was like you had to have that code type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so I was skeptical about that, and I thought, because I almost did it, and I thought, I'm going to look up that politics woman, because out of everything I've watched on Nebula, that has been my favorite discovery that I have.
That's awesome.
Like, didn't know about previously, because I've really enjoyed her videos. They're well researched. They're interesting.
Right.
She's an entertaining narrator, and I thought, I'll see if I can sign up and like if maybe she'll get a cut if I use her thing. And I went to her page that was on there, and they like it immediately popped up a link on her Nebula thing whenever I searched for it that just said like support her and use the code or whatever. And I was like, fuck yeah,
I don't know if they do get like a monetary kickback. I think it's more like a numbers thing. It just tracks, like where did this person come from to sign up thing, which is still good. Like you still want to support that person as far as just showing that you like their material enough to go, I want to pay for a yearly subscription to this service.
Yeah.
But I was just watching that practical engineering guy, and it was because I usually don't watch his videos on YouTube like when they come out. I'm usually like weeks or months behind on his stuff because I just kind of watch it whenever. But it was new that day, and whenever it popped up at that little ad or whatever, I was like, oh shit, like you might benefit from this.
We were just talking about
this.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was like, hey, go cancel your subscription and re-sign again.
So. Well, yeah, I did, and I think I get charged tomorrow. I think is when my $30 gets charged, and I'm enjoying it. And I watched one of her videos earlier this morning. She had a Hooters video, like the history of Hooters. It was really interesting.
Huh.
Really not pleasant also for multiple reasons, but it was an interesting video. I never knew a lot of that stuff about it. So Tara Mooney, Mooknee. I recommend her stuff.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Politics.
All right. Politics.
It's time for a regular show?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Bye-bye.